Most people think they have a money problem. But in reality, they have an emotional problem disguised as spending. Because the truth is, people rarely buy things only because they need them. Most purchases happen because of a feeling: stress, loneliness, insecurity, boredom, the desire to feel successful, the desire to feel seen. And once you truly understand that, you start seeing modern consumer culture very differently. Because everywhere around us, millions of people are spending money they haven't even earned yet, trying to create an identity they hope other people will admire. A new phone, new sneakers, a luxury watch, another package at the front door. And for a brief moment, it feels incredible. You feel productive, successful, rewarded, like your life is finally moving forward. But then something strange happens. That feeling disappears. Fast. And suddenly, the brain starts searching again. Another product. Another upgrade. Another emotional high. And without realizing it, people slowly become trapped inside a system designed to keep them consuming forever. Not fulfilled. Consuming. And the dangerous part is, most people never notice it happening. Because modern consumerism feels normal. It feels harmless. It feels like freedom. But many of the decisions people believe are their own were psychologically influenced long before they clicked by now. Think about it carefully. Why does a tiny logo suddenly make a basic t-shirt feel more valuable? Why do people stand in line for hours to buy the newest phone, even when their current phone works perfectly fine? Why do luxury brands sell status more successfully than usefulness? Because modern marketing no longer sells products. It sells identity. It sells emotion. It sells the fantasy of becoming a better version of yourself. And social media multiplied this effect to a level humanity has never experienced before. Every single day, millions of people wake up, unlock their phones, and instantly consume carefully edited lifestyles. Luxury vacations, perfect apartments, expensive restaurants, designer clothes, perfect lighting, perfect bodies, perfect moments. And even if people don't consciously realize it, their brain quietly starts comparing. Suddenly, their own life feels smaller. Ordinary life starts feeling inadequate. And that emotional discomfort creates desire. Not because people truly need more things, but because they want to feel enough. That's why emotional spending is so powerful. People don't always shop because they're happy. Sometimes they shop because they feel empty. After a stressful day, buying something can feel like relief, a reward, a distraction, a temporary escape from uncomfortable emotions. And scientifically, there's a reason for that. Every time people buy something new, the brain releases dopamine. That temporary chemical reward creates excitement. For a few moments, the brain feels stimulated, optimistic, alive. But dopamine fades quickly. And once that emotional high disappears, the brain starts craving another hit, another package, another upgrade, another purchase promising happiness. And this is exactly why modern consumer culture becomes addictive. Because the system profits when people stay emotionally unsatisfied. Unsatisfied people consume more. And the easiest way to sell something is to first convince people they are incomplete without it. That's why advertisements rarely focus only on functionality anymore. They focus on emotion. Buy this, and you'll feel attractive. Buy this, and you'll feel respected. Buy this, and people will admire your life. The product itself becomes emotional symbolism. And over time, people stop buying things for usefulness. They start buying feelings. Now obviously, money itself is not bad. Nice things are not bad. Comfort matters. Experiences matter. Enjoying life matters. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting a better life. The problem begins when spending becomes emotional dependency. Because there's a massive difference between buying something because it genuinely improves your life and buying something because you're trying to escape how you feel. One creates long-term value. The other creates temporary relief. And temporary relief is expensive. Because emotional spending rarely looks dangerous in the moment. A food delivery here. Impulse shopping late at night. Subscriptions barely used. Constant upgrades. Random online purchases. Tiny decisions. Repeated thousands of times. And those small habits quietly become massive financial leaks over time. Most people don't destroy their financial future with one giant mistake. They lose financial freedom slowly. Through unconscious spending patterns repeated for years. And the hardest part is, many people never stop long enough to ask themselves one uncomfortable question. Why am I really buying this? That single question can completely transform someone's relationship with money. Because once people become aware of emotional spending, they begin regaining control. They stop buying things just to impress strangers online. They stop chasing temporary validation. They stop confusing consumption with happiness. And slowly, they begin spending intentionally instead of emotionally. That's where real financial freedom actually begins. Not from becoming rich overnight. Not from some magical investment strategy. But from becoming conscious of your own behavior. Because people who control their emotions usually control their money better too. And in today's world, that awareness is becoming increasingly rare. Because every app, every notification, every advertisement, every influencer, every limited time offer is competing for one thing: your attention. Because attention eventually becomes spending. And companies understand human psychology extremely well. They know urgency increases impulse buying. They know insecurity increases consumption. They know comparison creates desire. That's why social media and consumer culture work together so perfectly. One creates emotional pressure. The other sells products as the solution. And millions of people get trapped in the middle without realizing it. But once you become aware of the system, something changes. You stop reacting automatically. You pause before buying. You start asking better questions. Do I actually need this? Will this improve my life long term? Or am I simply trying to change how I feel right now? That level of awareness changes everything. Because conscious spending doesn't mean never enjoying money. It simply means your emotions stop controlling your financial decisions. And honestly, that kind of freedom is rare today. Most people are constantly consuming without understanding why. Scrolling, comparing, buying, repeating, over and over again. And eventually, many people end up owning more things, while feeling less fulfilled inside. Because happiness was never hiding inside another package. Real fulfillment usually comes from things money struggles to buy. Peace of mind, strong relationships, purpose, health, freedom, time. And ironically, the more emotionally dependent people become on consumption, the further away those things often feel. That's why understanding your spending habits is so important. Not only for your bank account, but for your mental clarity too. Because when people stop spending emotionally, they often feel calmer, more intentional, more disciplined, more in control of their lives. And maybe that's the real goal. Not rejecting money, not rejecting success, not avoiding nice things, but refusing to become psychologically controlled by unconscious consumption. Because at the end of the day, many people are not financially stuck because they earn too little. They stay stuck because they spend emotionally, without understanding the deeper reason behind it. And maybe, understanding that, is where everything finally starts changing. Welcome to Moniqo.